Hey guys, welcome back to Big Oak Homestead. I'm Jenny and it's been over a year. Alright, so here's where I've been for over a year. Back when COVID started, I was working as a misdemeanor probation officer at the courthouse in the county that I live in. COVID hit, shut down the courthouse, and I received an indefinite furlough. Needed a job, needed health insurance, so I went back to law enforcement. I've done this since 1999, so it was something good to fall back on. What I didn't know, I guess I've been back about a year and a half. What I didn't know was that they were significantly shorthanded, running below critical, and that taking this job would require me to work a ridiculous amount of overtime. So I think I started there back in April 2020, laid off late March, started there April. Since then, I have been working 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, which does not leave any time for homesteading. So that's where I've been. I've been working 60 to 80 hours a week. In that time, I have not done anything in my greenhouse. I have not planted a garden for 2 seasons now. Very disappointing. I have added a few animals to the homestead. It was one of those, I researched goats a long time ago and I thought I would love to get goats, but then the more I researched, the more I thought, no, I don't want goats. Well, fast forward about a year and I have goats. We started with 3. I will show you some pictures of them. A buck and 2 does. They came pregnant, and a few days ago, one of the does delivered triplets. So our herd size doubled overnight. I do have plans on building a goat barn. I picked up the first part of that goat barn kit yesterday. I ordered it about a month ago and it came in yesterday. I will be constructing a 20 by 20 carport and converting that into a goat barn. I hope to be doing some video of that. Primarily because I have been researching how to build this goat barn, and there's not a lot out there on YouTube. Do some videos so other people can see how it's done, even though a lot of it's going to be done wrong and will have to be redone. Still going to give it a try. I'm doing this barn because I just don't have the adequate setup housing for the goats. Goats hate water, they hate rain, they hate anything to do with any moisture at all. And their current shelter, it just really isn't big enough to protect them from the blowing rain that we get here in Florida. It will be in, I think, 3 or 4 phases. First phase is erecting the carport. Second phase is going to be closing it in. And then the third phase is going to be running power and water. Also, I am working on a different job. And let me tell you, this lead I have for this job could be, if I get it, I don't know. I'm only part way through the process. This could be a game changer, life changer, and that is no exaggeration whatsoever. It is a work from home position. It's not a scam. The thought of being home, it's just amazing. One of my biggest fears with these goats is goats are so fragile. I did know how fragile they were. That's why I had decided against getting goats. But here we are. So I have been worried sick about the goat who kidded the other day. Her name is Lido. I will show you Lido and her gorgeous little babies in a little while. Being away, not to mention I drive an hour to get to work and work 12 to 16 hours and then an hour drive home. Working 40 hours a week, I'll be able to put my gardens in. I'll be able to work in my greenhouse some more. Starting seeds and selling plant starts as my little side gig that actually made me really good money for a few months till COVID hit. So we're going to go outside. We're going to walk around. I'm going to show you things. I'm going to show you the sad condition of my greenhouse, which used to be my favorite place to hang out. I'm going to go and show you the birds, the chickens, the turkeys, the new chicks that we hatched, the goats, how I'm housing the goat. We're just going to jumble everything in here to one video. There's Adele. You wanna go for a walk? Come on. This is so tall. Come on, baby. Okay, so here is the house. Love the house. It is a brick house. It's very small. It's just me and my husband. Kids are grown, so we didn't need much. And there she goes. Come on, Adele, stay over here. I put this fence up several months ago. Just an area to delineate a front yard. I'm trying to grow some pretty grass in here. I did the art. That is the garage. It is detached from the house. Mostly just storage. And we have these amazing oak trees all around the property. This mess over here is because they are doing a road project and they're staging their equipment here. It's a hay rake, I just remembered. Came with the house, I use it as yard art. Come on, babe. She's such a good girl. Here's the greenhouse area. Couple raised beds. Blackberries in very, very neglected condition. 2 more herb beds over there. And then the stuff growing around the outside of the greenhouse. This was a Barbados cherry that did not survive the winter. I need to dig that out. This is a fig that's actually doing really well. Now, you risk your life stepping on this. Pretty rotted, needs to be taken up and replaced. Surprisingly, the dragon fruit starts are going nuts. You see that up there? Right there? The roof has started to collapse and panels are coming down. It's just awful. If everything works out, get this cleaned up and operating again. These are rose bushes I planted. They're a beautiful reddish orange color. There's the solar that is not hooked up right now. And then behind the greenhouse, this is how I compost. This one is ready to go. It's just been topped off with wood chips. So this whole thing is full of amazing compost. The orchard used to be in a different place, and then about a year ago I decided I wanted to move all of my fruit trees. So all along this fence line that houses that guy are my fruit trees. They're actually coming back pretty good. I nearly killed them with moving them during the heat of the summer. Bad move. But they're starting to leaf out and recover. They were about twice the size they are now, but of course the shock killed them. I cut them back and they're leafing out pretty good. We got a couple of peaches, couple of plums this year. All of them stayed really small, and the birds and squirrels got them before I had a chance. This is Rocco. Rocco is a fairly new addition to the farm. He is a rescue pup. Come here, Rock. He knows there's a hot wire on that fence because he loves to escape. Rocco was found just over a year ago by my husband. His business is set up in a residential area, and there's a rental house across the street. Well, somebody decided that they were going to move out and just leave Rocco chained to a tree. And because he likes to run and he likes to take off, he has this area behind the house. Oh, I'm so surprised it hasn't rained yet today. Every single day, every day, it's rain. We've been getting inches and inches of rain. There's the tractor implements sitting out in the weather until I can build a shelter to put them in. Okay, so here in the herb garden, we have, I think this is thyme, not sure. Rosemary, huge rosemary. And then the rest is all mint. What, Rock? Rocco wants to play. Over here, in addition to many, many weeds, I have turmeric and ginger. These or shampoo ginger. I think they're called Awapoi. It will grow these little cones, which it hasn't started yet. And there's a liquid inside those cones that is great for your hair. And when these cones ripen, if you squeeze them over a mason jar, you get this kind of gooey liquid. Put it in your hair, it's a fantastic conditioner. This area here is just a catch-all storage, my kayak trailer, some extra nest boxes that I won't use, and lumber. And then here we have the goat area. Penelope is pregnant. Due to kid, I hope any day now. I wish she would do it tonight before I have to go back to work. I have them in these two small enclosures that are about 16 by 16 with the shelter, DIY homemade hay rack. We got the feeder there and water there. And the reason I put them here, built this area, was so that they could be segregated from Mr. Pan. Pan is the buck. Both the girls have a pretty good size outdoor area, and then Pan is separated. This is Premier One 48-inch poultry netting, electric netting, which I have found works really good so far, knock on wood, at containing the goats. So let's go inside and see everybody. Okay, first up is Penelope. She's got the itchies today. Hey, baby. All right, let me squat down. Please don't knock me over. So Miss Penelope is about 3 years old. This is not her first time having babies. First time with us. She was a bottle baby, and she is just the sweetest, most affectionate goat. Next, we're gonna meet Lido. Lido is very different. No, you stay in there, babe. Okay, let's see if we can get in here. This is Miss Lido. Yes, ma'am. How are you today? There are 3 in there. There is one who likes to get underneath. I don't know if we can see her. Oh. All right. Hey guys. You got poop stuck to your butt? Hey mama. So Lido is, I best guess, about 2. That little chunky monkey that fell off the bed. All right, the baby on the cot, that is Percy. The other baby in the back, the bigger one, that is Mr. Otis. So here we have Percy and Otis. And Miss Esme, where's Miss Esme? Yes, where's your other baby? Watch out. She's right here. Esme. Oh, don't squish the baby. Don't squish the baby. She likes to bite. She licks and then she nibbles. This is Pan the man. The buck. He stinks, but overall he's a good boy. The plan for Pan is to band him pretty soon. I gave him his CD&T vaccination, waiting for it to kick in, and then this joker's manhood is going to be going bye-bye. All right, let's go take a look in Pan's house. Do not try. You hear that popping? That fence will bite you. So this is Pan's area. He's got a larger area. We're gonna go take a look at, oh, see that? That's a shelter I built. That's what a buck will do to a shelter. This is a former chicken hoop coop turned into a buck shade enclosure, place for him to get out of the rain. This is my all scrap hay feeder. Just stuff I had laying around, including the tin. It's The roof leaks a little bit, but it keeps the hay up off of the ground and saves money. You guys remember I told you the property's surrounded by a huge development? This is what I'm talking about. I just added, you can see this privacy fence back here. It's got algae on it, it's pretty gross. I just added another 120 feet of privacy fence because you see those houses. No privacy back here. I hope to extend this fence farther back. See this right here, this eyesore? This is I guess a rental house. Somebody broke in, tried to steal all the copper. This is their solution, is just to board it up and let the yard grow. I really don't understand. You can see the back of the property, also known as the war zone. We had all the pine cut off of this a couple years ago with the intentions of digging out the stumps, building some pasture. I did save the bigger oak trees. There's a couple wild magnolias back there just for shade in the pasture, but it's also overgrown. But when you work 60 to 80 hours a week, what do you have time for? The bare minimum. All right, so let's take a look at all the birds. We have quite a few. I got an incubator. I don't know what I was thinking. We're a family of 2, and I was up to about 40 chickens, hens, laying hens. And we were getting 30 eggs a day. A day, we don't need 30 eggs a day. So I got rid of most of the chickens. I got down to about 7 hens, 1 or 2 roosters, more manageable. We do eat a lot of eggs, but then I had a hen go broody. It was one of those times where I was just too busy, too tired to collect eggs. I know it'd been over a week. The hen was setting on the eggs, so why not? Go ahead and let her set. Well, out of about 15 eggs, let me show you what she got. There are 6 beautiful little chicks. This is mama hen. There's one of the babies there. There's daddy right there taking a dust bath. This little speckled one over here, she's second mama. So when this mama's not around, this mama takes over. Right now the babies are cuddled up with a turkey. Turkeys that are way past butcher, but they will be meeting the freezer very soon. All right, so this is the chicken run, and right now I do have the gate open. There's Mr. Pan. I have the gate open so that the chickens can go out and get on some fresh grass, take care of some bugs for me. This is the chicken coop. This chicken coop was just a lean-to on the side of the garage that I got all salvaged wood and bought some hardware cloth and turned it into a chicken coop. All right, and that is all the animals. You've met everybody. I'm gonna open this gate up and let mama and babies get out on some green grass and some sunshine for a little while. I'll give them a couple hours out here and then run them back in, and then I will let sweet Penelope out so she can get some time on the grass. 20 by 20 Versatube carport. I'll see if I can find a picture of it and put it somewhere in here. The reason that I decided on using a carport to turn into a goat barn, number one, wood prices. Wood prices are absolutely ridiculous. Now, steel prices have gone up, but since I purchased this, steel prices were not where they are right now today. So going metal was the smartest choice. Come on, babe. Here she comes. God, it looks terrible back there. It's just so overgrown, I can't keep up. We went through 6 weeks of drought, I think. And then all of a sudden, inches and inches and inches of rain. Beautiful grass. All this was just dirt a month ago, and the grass is coming in great. It's hot. Okay, this is the future spot for the goat barn. Now, the reason that I picked this area was because it's right in the center of the property. The house up front sits on a... Oh, y'all heard that? That's a baby goat learning that electric fence bites. It's terrible, but this fence saves their lives. Anyways, this spot is central to the property. House sits on 1 acre up front, 4 acres in the back for everybody else. My goal is to move all the animals to the back, people in the front. Centralizing this goat barn back here was important because I hope one day to have these 4 acres separated off into 4 equal paddocks with a lane down the center that comes out of the back of the barn, and then entrances to those 4 paddocks. So having this back 4 acres sectioned off into 4 different areas so that I can move them and give the area a break. Another reason to set the barn back here, away from the house, not somewhere up front where it would be super convenient to get water and electricity to, is because they stink. During the winter, it's not so bad when it's dry, but whenever you have goats pooping and peeing in a small area and then you're getting rain every single day, the odor is horrendous. Same with the chicken area. Chickens will be back here in the barn, mostly free ranging throughout the day, sleeping in the barn at night to get the stink, the flies, horrible flies, away from the house. Come on, babe, time to go in. Come on. All right, guys, so that is it. That is a tour and a little info on what's been going on, why I've been gone for over a year. We bought this place in 2018. Moved from a gated, HOA ruled golf course community, and I hated it. I hated every bit of it there. Beautiful house, beautiful golf course, but you could do nothing with it except mow the grass to the HOA standards. Coming out here, I love it here. But now having to work, how do you work 80 hours a week and homestead? You can't. That's why I'm really hoping there's some changes in the future. Changes to my job, changes to the homestead, and changes to the channel.